Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of Witchy Tidbits. I'm your hostess, Amethyst Storm Moon, and our guest will be joining us shortly. We've got a really jam-packed show for you this week. We're going to be talking about psychic ability and opening your third eye. We're going to discuss the Bushido Code. We're going to talk about chemical-free spring cleaning and scents for spring. And of course, we'll have our Q&A and our weekly tip. We also have some amazing music by Delane or Delane. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be pronounced. That being said, we're going to go ahead and take our first musical break. Stick around.
Just take it once more, don't be so blind. For all I care, you fake it, it's your chance to shine. And it's all that I dream of. There's nothing I want more, there's nothing I would trade it for. All I dream of, it's all I really want. There's nothing I want more, there's nothing else. It's my problem if I can take it. Why would we change our own game? These are the rules by which we play. I've heard it all before. And try to make up your mind and make up your face. I don't believe in a way to skip a chapter and be great. There's no such thing. We're all traumas and flaws that deadly erase. Once more, it's your chance, just take it. Once more, don't be so blind. For all I care, you fake it. It's your chance to shine. And it's all that I dream of. There's nothing I want more, there's nothing I would trade it for. All I dream of, it's all I really want. There's nothing I want more, there's nothing else. It's my problem if I can take it.
Hey guys, welcome back to Witchy Tidbits. I'm your hostess, Amethyst Storm Moon, and our guest this week.
Hi, I'm Crone Mother Bear Woman. Nice to be here with you.
So guys, let's start talking about spring cleaning. To be specific, chemical-free spring cleaning. We've all got our little stash of boxes and bottles and spray cans and things like that. Well, there's an easier and better way, and it takes up a lot less room. And even better, guys, you probably already have the stuff sitting in your kitchen. All you need for your windows, for your stainless steel appliances, mirrors, any kind of metal faucets, just white vinegar. A cup of white vinegar per gallon of water is all you need. Plus, it helps to deodorize the house, which, is always nice. But, again, that's all you need. It's just your white vinegar. And most people have that in your house. Plus, it's cheap. And it doesn't leave streaks behind. It doesn't leave any kind of chemical residue, or even better, no fumes. Plus, it's just super easy. Another thing you can do without chemicals is you can clean wooden furniture and even your wooden floors without having to get on your hands and knees, which, big plus for everybody. All you need is a type of carrier oil. I personally like grapeseed oil, but if you just have plain old vegetable oil, that will work, or even almond oil. Just whatever you have on hand as your base. Then all you need is an essential oil or fragrance oil, whichever you prefer. I like orange oil myself, and it's a terrific furniture polish. It helps to nourish the wood. Plus, it helps to keep out moisture, which helps stuff last longer because moisture and wood just don't mix too well. And honestly, if you have back problems like I do and like a lot of people do, you can just put a few drops on your cloth for your floor and just do it with your foot. That's how I do it.
It's one way to get it done.
Yeah, it's a lot easier on your back and knees, that's for sure. And guys, you can even do this out on your deck or patio if you have wood out there. Add some citronella to it, or pennyroyal, or lavender works too, or basil. These are all ones that insects don't like, but particularly citronella will help to keep away mosquitoes. And that means no more of that sticky bug repellent stuff. All natural. And if you just wanted to use a little bit of the oil, just make sure you dilute it, because a lot of times pure essential oil needs to be diluted to put on your skin. Otherwise, it can cause a reaction. So anytime you're going to use the essential oil on yourself, make sure you mix it with a carrier oil of some sort. Now, of course, there's always exceptions. Lavender oil, you don't have to dilute. But always double check on that first. Another thing you can do is lavender essential oil you can add to the polish that you're going to use for like your child's bedroom. That lavender will help them sleep at night. Or maybe you have a teenager that's got, some tests or something coming up. Whatever you need it for. There's scents for everything. Less stress, like we said, sleep or relaxation, even energy can be derived from essential oils. It's just whatever you like or whatever fits the purpose that you're needing it for. And again, there's another thing. Means no more of the Febreze in the air or anything like that. You can scent your house without chemicals. Another thing, guys, is our furry friends. There's always the worry about fleas and ticks and things like that. Pennyroyal, you can crush a little bit and put it in your pet's bedding. under the sheet. Don't put it directly against their skin because it can make them sick. So definitely underneath the sheet that they lay on. You can also do that, like we said, with lavender. Rosemary too works really well. Now, mind you, there are some oils that you cannot put directly on their skin, guys. So always be sure that you double check with that. If it's going to be hazardous to you directly on your skin, it could be hazardous to them as well. So always think about that. And you can do the same thing, like rather than a flea shampoo, just do your regular, like a baby shampoo is what I use, and I just add a few drops of essential oil to it, which will also help to moisturize their skin too. What I use for my cat is actually a mix of rosemary and sage. And it always just seems to make him feel, it just seems to lift his mood. And I tell you, that's a good thing. Anything you can do to lift the mood or brighten the energy around you and around your pets is always a good thing. Plus, again, there's no chemicals that way. So you don't have to worry about them getting sick if you maybe didn't get it all off like you thought or something like that. Because, there's always that possibility. So, again, another way to go chemical free. Spring's a great time to do your cleaning anyway. It's a time for rebirth and renewal. And some of your other great scents for spring are, well, like tulips. We all think of things like tulips for spring. I know one that I always think of is lilacs. And another great one, crocus or snowdrops. Daffodils, of course. And any of these scents, just whatever you happen to like, whatever makes you think spring. Me, I just love the scent of rain. Now, there are some places that make a fragrance oil that you can get that does smell similar to the scent of rain. But what I like to do is, as soon as I notice that as soon as I know it's going to rain, I'll open up all my windows and I'll place my fan there in the window and have it pull all that lovely smelling fresh air into the house. I just love it. My husband thinks I'm crazy, but
To each her own.
I mean, and guys, again, it's just whatever you happen to like. Whatever lifts your spirits.
Well, back to the cleaning part, I always like to, it's something I do once a month in my house, and I take rosemary needles and I put them in hot water to steep, and then I strain it and I mop my floors with that. It gives your house a wonderful, fresh, inviting fragrance, especially just before you have company over. In old times, they used to always plant rosemary by the front porch so that just before the company would come, you'd go out and you'd hit the rosemary bushes with a broom to release the fragrance. So you've got it released already in your house.
That's a great idea. I'm going to have to try that. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and take another musical break. When we come back, we're going to start talking about herbs, stones, and candles for increasing your psychic power. Don't forget, we do have a Facebook page, we have a Twitter account, a Google Plus page, and a YouTube channel. We'll be right back, guys, here on Witchy Tidbits. Stick around.
Such a shame to believe in escape, a life on every face. Well, that's a change until I'm finally left with an 8. Tell me, smiley face tells me to react. Well, I don't care. Maybe it's unkind if I should change the feeling that we share. It's a shame. Such a shame. Numbing me with rage. It's a shame. Such a shame. Numbing me in hate. Such a shame. This egon is too such a shame. With rage. Such a shame. Right to cross my name. It's a shame. Such a shame. Number me with rage. It's a shame. Such a shame. Number me in hate. Such a shame. This egon is too changed. It's a shame. Such a
Hey guys, welcome back to Witchy Tidbits. I'm your hostess, Amethyst Storm Moon, and our guest this week.
Hi, I'm Crow Mother Bear Woman. Glad to be here.
So guys, we've talked about chemical-free spring cleaning and scents for spring. Now we're going to talk about herbs, candles, and stones for psychic ability. Now everybody's got a built-in warning system, your gut instinct. You can improve that, but there are many that also have actual psychic gifts as well. Clairvoyance,
Clairaudience.
clairaudience. There's lots of different gifts you could possibly have, and there's a way that you can build them and improve them. We're going to start with the herbs that you can use. We're just going to go down the list here, and if there's anything in there that may be poisonous or something else, like maybe a risk of allergic reaction, we'll let you know because we don't want anybody to get sick for sure. We're going to start off with lotus, and then we have that classic combination, frankincense and myrrh. Then we have rowan, and next we have rue. Now, rue, if you plant it around in your yard, it'll help to discourage negative spirits. But some people do have a sensitivity to it. So if you do have sensitive skin, don't handle it barehanded. And some people, it can also upset their stomach as well. So again, if you're sensitive, you probably don't want to take it internally. Our next one is saffron. Next up is one that is always in the house, and that's sage. Next we have saw palmetto. And then we have Arabic gum, or gum Arabic. It's the same thing. Some places list it one way and some the other. So next we have bistort. And then we have bladderwrack, which is really great, taken internally for your kidneys and bladder. Plus the little seed pods look like little bladders, and they grow in watery areas. So next we have buchu, and then we have butcher's broom. Now, this was always kept around a butcher's shop. It was believed that it would keep the meat from going bad, from prevent any tainted meat, and a lot of times the fibers of it were also used to make butcher's paper. Next is caraway, and then we have Damiana. Damiana sometimes will cause a slight allergic reaction if you're really sensitive to it. So if you do have a sensitivity to it and you're going to burn it, maybe have a window cracked. Next is deer's tongue. Leaves are long and thin, and deer really love to munch on it. There's always a corner in my garden with it, so they eat it and not my veggies. Next we have eyebright, which is terrific for any kind of eye problems, especially for as an eye wash. And then we have galangal. You want to use the root. Then we have grape. I use the leaves myself. Honeysuckle. Hummingbirds love it. It smells fabulous too. And it's so pretty. And then we have lemon balm. It is a member of the mint family, and so it has a tendency to be rather invasive. So if you're going to grow it, you probably want to plant it in a container. Then we have lemongrass. And then we have arnica. Now, this can sometimes cause an allergic reaction if it's handled barehanded, but that's usually only if it's, the plant straight, really fresh. If you make it into a poultice or something like that, it shouldn't cause too many issues. And don't take it internally, guys. It can cause some issues. So next up we have bay, and that's the same bay leaf that you use in your tomato soup or your spaghetti sauce. Then we have borage, and then we have calendula, and that's also known as pot marigold. It's another one of those plants like arnica that's great for wounds and scrapes and bruises and sprains and strains, all those good things. You'll also find it pretty frequently in body washes, lip balms, lotions. A lot of times things that have aloe in it, a lot of times will also have calendula. Next we have celery. I use the seed. Then we have cilantro. Now, just to clarify, cilantro and coriander come from the same plant. Coriander is the seed and cilantro is the leaf. And then the next two are cinnamon and cassia. Now, cassia a lot of times is actually what they get your ground cinnamon from. The cheaper varieties, like your basic grocery store, usually gets it from cassia bark, not the actual cinnamon tree. So, if you're needing cinnamon for something specific, make sure to always read the ingredients and look at where it came from, because it'll show there if it came from the cinnamon tree or if it came from cassia. Next is cloves. A great little trick with cloves, guys, that helps to discourage moths, and it's an awesome natural air freshener. You just take an orange and you just you stick cloves all over inside of it, or not inside, but outside of it. Stud it really well with cloves and just hang it in your closet. It'll help to discourage moths and things like that. Plus, it makes the house smell really nice. Next, we have acacia. The berries are very high in vitamin A and vitamin C. Then we have acorns. Yep, the acorns from the oak tree, the ones that the squirrels like to bury all over. And then we have anise. I love anise. It's got that kind of black licoricey taste and smell to it.
Yeah, good stuff.
Oh, yeah. And star anise can also be used. And star anise you find a lot in Chinese 5-spice powder. It's one of the main ingredients of that. Next, we have another one that's really good for the bladder and kidneys, uvi ursi. Then we have vanilla, the vanilla bean. Then we have wisteria. That's those pretty kind of pinkish purple trees in the spring. Well, one of them. And it's just got this. Oh, yes. And they smell fantastic. Oh, I love the scent of wisteria. Next, we have wormwood. Now, believe it or not, guys, even though wormwood is poisonous, they also derive the alcohol drink absinthe from wormwood. Now, I'm not sure how they do that without making the alcohol poisonous too, but
To a certain degree, it is.
well, yeah, that's true. That is true. Next is yarrow. Now, guys, this one's a great one. It blooms all summer long. It doesn't take really any kind of upkeep either. It'll handle too much water, too little water. It's a very hardy plant. And you can dry the leaves and turn it into a powder to use to help stop bleeding. Next we have yerba santa. And then we have benzoin. And then we have cedar. Cedar is also one that can be used as a natural insect repellent, especially for fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes. Plus it smells nice. And then we have copal.
My favorite.
Oh, yes. It smells so nice. And then one of my favorite to use for grilling in the summer, rosemary. I take the leaves off and I'll make veggie kebabs on the actual rosemary twigs and cook them on the grill that way so that they get the little bit of rosemary flavor. It's really wonderful. Plus, it just smells so good. Next, we have sandalwood. Oh, I love sandalwood too. Oh, yeah. Next, we have African violet. Now, African violets can be kind of a finicky plant, guys. You can't get water on the leaves or it leaves spots. And so, if you're not familiar with the plant, I'd say do research before you try to grow it. Because they can be kind of finicky. Next, we have wood aloes. And then we have althea. Next is another flower I really love, and that's gardenia. That and their gardenias are beautiful, along with how they smell so nice. And then we have heliotrope, and then jasmine. Now, jasmine can be expensive, both oil and also the dried flowers. Can be rather pricey, but with jasmine, a little goes a long way. Next, we have pine, and yep, we're talking about your regular run-of-the-mill pine tree. And then we have citronella. As we said before, is really great also for repelling mosquitoes and ticks and fleas, and even I've noticed even flies tend to shy away from it. Next we have flax, and then we have lilac. Lilacs are also a really great scent for spring. That's something I look forward to every spring when I was a kid, because my grandmother had this giant lilac bush in the front of her property, and You knew it was spring when you saw the first buds on the lilac bush. Next we have mace, and we're not talking about the stuff that the police spray in people's eyes. We're talking about the spice mace that you use. It works really well with chocolate. It tends to bring out the flavor of chocolate. Next we have marigold, just plain marigold. And plain marigold, I've found too, tends to help repel insects to a degree. Not as much as some of the others, but it does help. Next we have mastic, and then mugwort. And mugwort, guys, is also really great for relieving stress and promoting sleep, among other things too. Next we have nutmeg, and then we have orange. Orange is one has lots of uses. You can use the oil in your natural furniture polishes, or just as kind of a pick-me-up in the morning. That scent really, it gives energy. Next is orris, and you're going to want to use the root. Now, another name for orris root is, your irises. Next we have peppermint. Now, mind you guys, with the mint family, again, plant it in a container, but there are so many different kinds of mint. You can get chocolate mint and apple mint, cinnamon, you name it. Next, we have rose. Now, I'm going to say this. Some people say that the red roses are more effective than the others. Me, I haven't really noticed a difference as far as color goes, but there are some that seem to have more of a scent than others. Our next one is thyme. You can get lemon thyme as well. I love it not only for cooking, but it's also naturally antibacterial. The menthol that you see in a lot of mouthwashes doesn't come from mint. It comes from thyme. Next is tuberose. Now, these are beautiful. And then we have elecampane, which is another one that's good for wounds and sores. And then we have just your plain ordinary grass. And for that, I just go out and sit on my front lawn. I'll sit there and I'll just kind of curl up in that nice soft green grass and meditate.
Does it matter what type of grass it is?
The next one is horehound. Now, horehound, guys, is absolutely terrific as a cough remedy. It does tend to be rather bitter, though. Next is lily of the valley. My mother used to grow this. She had, along the back of the house, there was ferns against the foundation, and then right in front of them was a row of lily of the valley. And then there's mustard. You can use the greens, you can use the seed, whatever's easiest for you. Then we have periwinkle. Now, guys, periwinkle taken internally is poisonous, but other than that, it's perfectly safe. Next, we have savory. Now, you have summer savory and winter savory. I haven't noticed a difference between the two when it comes to uses, so whichever you happen to have on hand should suffice. Next, we have spearmint, another member of the mint family. Spearmint is also great for stress relief and, believe it or not, for helping to reduce fever, especially in younger children. Then we have stillingia, and then we have sumbel, and our last one is walnut. I personally, with the walnut, I like to use a combination of the leaves and the bark, but you can use the ground up whole if you like. Do you have any other herbs to suggest?
I can't really think of anything. You've pretty much covered many of them that I use, so I think you've got them all. You did mention vanilla, right?
Yep.
Okay, I thought so, but so many. Yep, I think you got them all.
Now, guys, as far as stones go, there are two that I use, and they are my favorites. One is amethyst. Of course, it's my birthstone, so I'm kind of partial to it anyway. And the other is quartz. Something interesting about quartz that some people don't seem to realize. If you've watched some of the shows on places like Travel Channel, like Ghost Mine, for example, a lot of mines, especially gold mines and coal mines as well, tend to retain spiritual energies. And that is because of all the quartz running through there. Quartz is it's a natural material that gathers and traps that energy and holds it. And so any place where there's a lot of quartz, a lot of times you will find some sort of spiritual activity. As far as candles go, any shade of purple will work. So if you have purple, indigo, violet, just any kind of those sorts of shades, and also silver. Now bear in mind, silver, it's more representative of feminine energy rather than masculine. Just bear that in mind. As far as psychic powers go, I think we've covered everything, haven't we?
Add on your stones.
By all means.
Tourmaline works well. A new stone that I just acquired is called celestite or celestine. Diamonds, the kind you have in rings, those work great. Fluorite. I'm kind of a stone person, so. Ametrine's another good one. Sodalite, which is one of my favorites. I have a great big chunk of it out by my front entryway.
Oh, wow.
So that I actually have vision into the people that are coming into my hearth and home.
That's a good idea.
Sugarlight, same way. Of course, turquoise. And there are a lot more, but Larimar, you know that beautiful blue stone that looks like the ocean?
Yeah.
Wonderful for psychic abilities.
Awesome.
And iolite, which is a water stone, kind of looks like that real expensive tanzanite, but a deeper purple, almost to the dark blue purple color.
Ooh.
Just gorgeous, and it's a really great stone. And then howlite, which is also called bear stone, it's white and it has little veins through it of black. Those are wonderful for psychic abilities. That's it.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and take another musical break, guys. When we come back, we will talk about opening your third eye and the Bushido Code. Stick around.
Standing in the shadow of our lives to hide our imperfection, doing anything we can to hide. Eyes wide open but still blind to see what really matters, and insecurity won't go. See me in shadows, standing by the ruins of your soul that cries for some more meaning, wondering when you had
Hey guys, welcome back to Witchy Tidbits. Well, we just talked about herbs, stones, and candles for psychic powers. Now we're going to talk a little bit about opening your third eye. Now, when we say opening your third eye, we don't mean, an anime eye in the middle of your forehead or something. So what we're referring to is your second sight, or your sixth sense, as some people call it. This can be very, very helpful, especially if you work with spirits or close with other people. And I've even found that those of us that are empaths, if you open your third eye, it seems to me like you have an easier time building your shields up. And so it's good for more than just, psychic. For me, the way I do it is I put together an incense. Mine is usually sandalwood, frankincense, myrrh, and sage. And I burn a little bit of that, and I have quartz crystal and also an amethyst crystal. I'll sit, and I actually do it via meditation. The way I was shown was through visualization. I've seen a lot of people have really good results with visualization. The best one I've found is to visualize a door opening, because our third eye is, lack of a better term, locked. It's a locked door that you have to find the key to and unlock. And visualization too, you can use that to help build shields if you're an empath. Visualization is great for a lot of things. And it doesn't even have to be doors. It can be whatever works best for you. Everybody's different, and so what may work for one person may not work for another. If you have some trouble concentrating, like I know I do sometimes, you can go and put in headphones and just put in some sort of music. I like instrumental stuff, or even just the sound of a thunderstorm. I've also seen people that will work on it in pairs, or even groups of 3 or 4 people that they work together and they sit in a circle. And now, mind you, just because you've opened your third eye doesn't mean you're automatically going to be able to control everything that flows in. Opening and learning control are 2 different things. Just like with any skill, it takes practice and patience. And it's one of those things you kind of learn as you go. Because like I said, everybody's different. For some people, it may be really easy to open their third eye. For others, there are some people that actually have a natural block that makes it harder to open. So some people have to work harder than others. And if one technique doesn't work for you, by all means, try another. I've found nights of a full moon or a new moon are the 2 best times, particularly a full moon, because you've got all that wonderful full moon energy. And it's just like with any other magic, guys. There's always going to be times where it works better. So always try to be mindful of the phase of the moon, the time of the year, because that'll affect the results that you get or how much work you have to put in. Oh, another good visualization is I picture a bubble around me, and then I kind of picture it dividing so that the bubble divides in half and floats to either side of me. This will also help to kind of teach your body to separate one thing from another so that it's easier to focus. Because when you have energies mixed too much, sometimes it can actually change the outcome. So that's another thing too. Don't try to do more than one thing at once, especially if you are working on opening your third eye. It's going to take all of your attention. It's not something that you can be working on 3 other things with. So no multitasking. Do you have any suggestions, Jeannette?
Well, some of the things that I try to do and I have done with with my students is I kind of use disjointed word association to get their mind, the one that's always in control, to turn off, so that you can actually, once that's been done, go ahead and do the anointing of the middle of your third eye in front of your pineal gland on your forehead with an essential oil to help open that, and then go into a guided imagery, which I use all the time in my teaching. It's just a fabulous way, and yes, some people get with it faster than others. It's like anything, it's a muscle. You need to practice and use it often. But I think the guided imagery is a really great thing. Like I said, kind of setting the regular mind that we use all the time. I think maybe that goes to your bubble division too, and you're trying to turn that off for a while so you really can access that inner knowing, that old wise one that resides in there for that knowledge. Anyway, that's all I have to say on it at the moment.
Well,
it may be the wrong tree.
Well, we're going to go ahead then and move on to the Bushido Code. Now, I don't know, some people have studied Japanese history and others haven't. And of course, there's all sorts of video games out there. Believe it or not, some of those video games are actually based on actual history. The series Dynasty Warriors is actually based on Chinese history during the Three Kingdoms era, Wu, Shu, and Wei. Samurai Warriors is based on the feudal era of Japan, also known as the Warring States era. Now, samurai were warriors that served a particular feudal lord. Loyalty was everything to them. Loyalty, honor, which is what the Bushido Code was. It was their honor code, their way of life. This Bushido Code was even adhered to by the women and children that lived in the samurai villages. Everybody there adhered to this code. There are 7 principles of the Bushido Code. Children were taught the Bushido Code shortly after they had learned to talk. Like I said, for them, the code wasn't just an honor code, it was a way of life for them. The first one is Gi, G-I, and it translates to justice. For them, serving justice was everything. No matter how they felt, they always saw to it that they served on the side of justice. And if the feudal lord they happened to be serving at the time slipped from the path of justice, they would turn away if he didn't find his way back. The second principle is Yu, Y-U, and it can be translated into either bravery or courage. Now, this meant, guys, not just on the battlefield. This meant in everyday living. Courage to do what needed to be done, no matter the consequences. And this also meant the courage or the bravery to face your own mistakes and your own shortcomings. The third principle is Jin, J-I-N, and it stands for mercy or benevolence. Helping the less fortunate was something that was very important to them. If they saw someone in need, they would do all in their power to assist. This also meant that samurai would not strike down someone that was unarmed. That was abhorrent to them. If you were unarmed, they believed it unmerciful to strike you down and unjust. Next we have Rei, R-E-I, which stands for respect. That meant respect for yourself, respect for your elders, respect for your village, your country, your feudal lord. And for this reason, they did not use any sort of no drugs. They didn't smoke opium like was common in that time. They didn't use anything like that. And that was all about the respect for your own body. Next is Makoto, Makoto, and that translates to honesty. Honesty above all. They were honest, no matter if it got them in trouble or not. Next, we have Meiyo, Meiyo, and that stands for honor. For them, honor meant sticking to their code. And believe it or not, to die of old age was felt to be a blow to their honor. For them, there was no greater honor than dying in battle. And the next one is, or the last one I should say, is Shugi, Chugi, and this stood for loyalty. Now, loyalty to their feudal lords was very, very important, but loyalty to themselves was more important. After all, how can you show loyalty to a feudal lord if you can't even show yourself loyalty, if you can't be loyal to who you are? This is the code that they lived and died by. It was life for them. So just to review, Gi, justice, Yu, bravery or courage, Jin, mercy or benevolence, Rei, respect, Makoto, honesty, Meiyo, honor, and Shugi, loyalty. That's the Bushido code. Now, samurai didn't use just swords. They were also trained to be masterful archers. They were also trained in horsemanship. When firearms found their way to Japan, there were even some samurai that took up firearms. This, like I said, this was their way of life. It was who they were. They lived and breathed their code. Is there anything you want to add, sweetie?
No, because I'm not really familiar with this code, but I do like it.
My husband and I try to follow it as well.
It's very, very good. It's very good principles to live life by.
I agree. Well, we're going to go ahead and take our very last musical break. And when we come back, we will have our Q&A and our weekly tip. So by all means, stick around and we'll be back.
Heavenly night.
Hi, welcome back to Witchy Tidbits. I'm your hostess, Amethyst Storm Moon, and we're going to go ahead and head over to our Q&A. We have 3 questions this week, and the first question is from a young lady, and she asks, are some herbs stronger than others? Well, the answer to that question is yes and no. Some herbs are better suited for certain purposes. So, like for example, Angelica is a more suitable herb for protection than sage. It's not necessarily a better herb. It's just simply more suited for that particular purpose. Our next question comes from a young man, and he asks, what is the difference between cassia and cinnamon? Well, we've talked about this earlier in our section on psychic powers, herbs, and they're 2 different plants. Now, your cheaper cinnamon powder, with quotes on there, by the way, comes from the bark of the cassia tree. Okay? It's cheaper to harvest, it's more plentiful, but it's a lower quality. It's a completely different plant. It tastes the same, but it's just simply lower quality, cheaper to produce. That's literally the only difference, guys. Our last question comes from another young man, and he asks, is it true that myrrh is very good for wound healing? The answer to that question is yes, it is. It's fantastic for healing wounds because it has a very strong antibacterial property to it, as well as antifungal and antiviral. It also helps to prevent things like infection. That's our Q&A for the week. Now we move on to our weekly tip. This week, our weekly tip is preventing sunburn. Now, I decided to do this as a weekly tip because I managed to get myself sunburned today. And it occurs to me that with the holes in our ozone, a lot more of the sun's radiation gets through. And skin cancer is becoming epidemic almost. And you know, there are some really easy ways to protect yourself. Rule 1, if you are sensitive and you burn easily, do not stay inside during the hours of 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. because this is when the sun is at its highest and strongest points. Thus, this is the time when you will burn the fastest. Rule 2, always use sunscreen. Okay? I personally suggest an SPF of at least 50. But if you have fair skin like mine, or you burn very easily due to medications or whatever, I would suggest an SPF of between 150 and 250. I use the 250 myself simply because I just burn so easily, which was my mistake. I didn't wear my sunscreen. Another way to prevent sunburn is if you're going to be outside for a long period of time, try to wear clothing that covers most of your exposed skin. You can do this without getting hot. This is like something like one of those little like lightweight shawls that go over your shoulders. A wide-brimmed hat will help as well. One more thing you can do. You can make homemade sunscreen. I will try to post a few recipes at somewhere, probably on our Facebook page. I will try to get it to the Twitter account, the Google Plus, and the YouTube channel as well. But We've been talking a lot about chemical-free in this show, and there are some plants that have natural sun protection, believe it or not. Oh, one more thing, guys. Just because you are sitting in the shade does not mean you cannot burn. The shade does not stop the sunlight. It may give you a little more time before you burn, but even sitting in the shade, you will burn. I pay close attention to the weather each night because on a lot of stations, they will give a burn time. They'll tell you how high the UV index is and how long you can be out before you start to burn. Now, mind you, this is for the average person, not for those that are photosensitive or light-skinned. So, bear that in mind. But always, guys, do your best to protect your skin. Because skin cancer is no joke. It's no fairy tale. It's very real. And it's very deadly. So, remember, safety first, always. Well, that is our show for the week. I'd like to thank our guest for being here this week. It was awesome having her. I hope that you guys had as much fun as we did. I am really looking forward to seeing you guys again next week. As always, if you have any sort of questions, post them up and we'll be sure to answer them on the show. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Google+. I will also post an email address that you can send your questions to as well. So, by all means, guys, contact us. We'd love to hear from you, even if it's just to give an opinion, a suggestion, a thought, or, just to say hi. With that being said, I bid you all a good night, a merry part, and blessed be.